thought I survived alone, but I see you now. There were nights the silence hurt me, days I barely made it through, carrying the weight of sorrow with no strength left to hold on to. I remember staring upward, wondering if you heard my cries, if heaven saw the tears I hid or the fear behind my eyes. There were roads I walked in darkness, thinking I had lost my way, trying hard to keep on breathing while my hope began to fade. And I thought that I was fighting every battle on my own, but looking back through all the wreckage, I can finally see you close. When my heart was barely beating, love was standing in the storm. I was never alone, through the silence and the sorrow, through the nights I feared tomorrow. You were holding on. I was never alone, even when I could not see it, when I almost stopped believing. You were near all along. When the world felt cold and empty, and the dark felt like my home, now I see the truth behind it. I was never alone. There were prayers I barely whispered, through exhaustion and regret, moments I stopped hoping life would ever make sense again. I wore pain like heavy armor, built my walls about a fear, but somehow through the breaking, your mercy still stayed near. And the nights I called abandonment now feel different in the light, 'cause healing changes memory when grace opens your eyes. I thought silence meant you left me, thought weakness meant defeat, but love was walking with me through every shattered piece. When I thought the road had ended, you were carrying the weight. I was never alone, through the valleys and the questions, through the passion and the pressure. You were holding on. I was never alone, even when my faith was fading and my soul could not stop shaking. You were near all alone. Through the nights I cried in secret, through the fear I couldn't show, now I see your mercy moving. I was never You were there, you were there, you were there. In the silence, in the sorrow, in the nights I fear tomorrow, you were there. I called it loneliness, but heaven called it grace. 'Cause every step I thought I walked alone, love was making space. I called it brokenness, but you were building strength, holding all the shattered pieces till healing it's quiet. Sometimes healing comes in waves. Sometimes faith looks like surviving one more hard and hurting day. But even in the darkness, even in the storm, love was closer than I realized, holding me all along. I was never alone. Through the silence and the sorrow, through the nights I feared tomorrow, you were holding on. I was never alone. Even when I stopped believing, when my heart could barely breathe again, you were near all along. And now when I look behind me at the roads I thought would break my soul, I finally see the truth inside them. I was never alone.